Hey there guys, Eli again coming at you to give you a up close and personal at one of the cutest little reef critters, and that is the Valentini puffer fish. These guys are also known as a saddleback puffer and are a great little addition for a smaller reef or fish only tank. They only cap out at about 3 or 4 inches, so they are appropriate for probably a 29 or 30 gallon aquarium or larger. And these guys are one of those fish that is a reef safe with caution. And what that means for these guys is generally they will leave certain corals alone, but some things they might like to nip at, and it totally depends on the individual fish's personality whether they end up doing so. Things like acans, zoanthids, and some of these other fleshy corals might end up being a snack for these guys down the road. So if you plan on keeping a Valentini puffer and also plan on keeping corals, it is important to plan accordingly. But if you plan on just having a small tank with a really cool centerpiece, these guys happen to be a great one. They really have a great personality. They tend to get kind of personable and tend to recognize who their owner is, so they generally will come up and greet you at the glass when you are in front of the tank, and they just have a really fun personality about them. So as I mentioned earlier, these guys don't get terribly large, so they are suited for small tanks. However, they should get along in larger tanks as well. Our lagoon tank that we have just added some pufferfish and stuff to, we added one of these guys in there and he's loving life in there as well. So they definitely don't need a smaller aquarium, but the small aquarium does suit them decently well as well. In terms of feeding these guys, generally they will eat frozen mysis shrimp, frozen brine shrimp, any of these frozen foods they take to pretty well. I'm not certain if they ever eat pellets. It's not something that I've necessarily seen. But in addition to the frozen shrimp, we love feeding these guys clams on the half shell. It's definitely something that kind of mimics what they eat in the wild, tends to keep them nice, fat, and happy. So feeding the clam on the half shell once a week or twice a week will definitely kind of help to keep this guy fat and happy and keep his beak trimmed. A lot of pufferfish out there, their beak or their teeth will grow with them throughout their lives, so kind of adding something to the tank for them to chew on, whether it happens to be a clamshell or whatever, will help to make sure that this beak stays trimmed so it doesn't grow too long. In addition to the Valentini puffer occasionally nipping at corals, sometimes your invertebrates are not safe from them as well. Things like peppermint shrimp and sometimes even cleaner shrimp might end up on the menu for these guys, especially after a molt, when they're a little more susceptible to predation. So as for fish tank mates, they should get along with just about anything else in your tank. They're not terribly picky. However, I would keep it 1 to a tank, as they may not get along with each other in the same aquarium. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know in the comment section below if you have questions or suggestions for future videos, and keep on reefing.